Video 2 of a series, Randy, to all the ninjas for Smithfield UMC Worship Technology Stack. If you have not watched video 1 that explains the difference in what's going on with this the old original screen 1, which is in-person worship, the way we used to do things, the upgrade to ProPresenter 7, the new OBS stream to Facebook, and the stage screen outputs. If you haven't watched video 1, these will not make sense. So I strongly recommend checking those out now before you watch this video. This is number 2. The objective of this video is to put those new concepts to work and let you see some of the controls here. And I'll do these in 4 or 5 minute snips so that we can keep it reasonable. First off, this is the button. I think it was called Output that we used to on ProPresenter 6 used to push. If I push this audience right here, this is what turns on or off screen 1. So right now I would not be projecting to the in-person worship on the screen on the projector, but if I turn it on and it's green, I am now projecting. You'll see this right here says the stage monitor. This is the one that the praise band is watching. If I turn this off or on, that stage monitor is turned off or on. This small window in this view you see here, this is showing which output screen is going on. And you can see here this says screen 1, so that means that what you're seeing right here is what we're sending to the projector and to the output to the in-person worship. If I click on this, you'll see that I also have an OBS output. This is what the output looks like that we're streaming to the internet, to Facebook, through OBS. We have a new computer sitting over there. You'll see it. And this is using an interface called NDI that Steve figured out to send to the software OBS running on that new computer over there on the wall behind the power amp. I'll go ahead and point out to you now, you can see that there are various layers here. This is really important to understand different layers of material that are on here. And you'll notice right here, here's one it looks like little lines. If I click on that, notice it clears those lines out here. But if I click on the lyrics, it pops them back up. But this is what's streaming to the internet, what it'll look like. Similarly, if I click on this one, it clears just the image, the image, or the media it's actually called, but that's behind it. So if there's this long red bar here is a clear all. If I click it, it clears everything. And again, we're looking at the OBS output. Now, if I want to switch back, let me go back and look at the screen output again. I'll click on this just like you would expect. You've got the screen here. You've got the motion backgrounds. All that works the same as before. But you notice these buttons right here sort of highlighted so I can clear them separately. It's a lot better user interface than we had before. Watch it again. So I click the text. Notice this. It shows the line of text here, and this is where the image in the background pops in. So, and again, I can clear them separately or all at once by clicking the larger bar. And then finally, there's the stage screen. This is what the praise band will see on the back wall monitor. And again, this is the output that says stage screen. And so, and again, if this is turned off to red, you may see it here, but they're not going to see it there. This is what puts the output to that monitor. And as I mentioned previously, this is showing you on the previous video, this is showing you the current text of the lyrics that they're singing. And this is also the next ones that are coming up. We figured out that's going to be pretty nice in terms of, like reading scripture, that sort of thing. The reader can just look at the back wall, and this is a nice big font to help them do that. Anything that's playing here for media, let me see how we're about 3 minutes into it. We're controlling it here. Anything that's going on here, we can actually control it here. So, for example, if I'm hitting something that's media like this, I can pause, and this little control bar is kind of relevant to whatever you're playing. If it's audio, strictly audio, the audio bin is very similar to the way it used to be. If you click on audio, it'll play that. And let me clear this first. But I can click on audio, and it'll clear the audio, and this control here becomes an audio control when you do that. I'm not sure I can play it from here. I may actually have to play it from a playlist. We'll get into that on the next video on managing the playlist. But anyway, if it's video, you can certainly play it from here and pause it. You can go fast forward, speed it up, whatever, move around on the video if you need to. It would also apply to the countdowns. I'll get into the playlist and the catalog and all next, but a really cool thing I think you're going to like, I know I like it, is we used to kind of stuck with this view, and when you're in the middle of worship, and especially if the praise band changes up, it's hard to see, but they have multiple views now. This is the view that I'm looking at, but notice this, if I click on this one, this puts it in a real nice text that's larger. It's the same exact information, but it's much more readable to move around. This right here puts it in a format where you can kind of flow it this way and go through it that way if you prefer that. And then I believe, let's see what this is. Yeah, this is just some grouping stuff. So anyway, this is our default view, but I think a couple of you had made comments over the past that a view of these slides like this, and you notice even though I push them here in all the views, so there's the stage screen, here's the OBS streaming to the internet, here's the screen one. It's just a simple matter of we've always done. It operates very similar. You just have to keep track of what you're looking at here so you don't get lost. But in terms of just running worship and operating the lyrics, it's the same right arrow to the right, and you just step through the lyrics, and all three of the outputs are handled correctly. A lot of the complexity of getting this set up had to do with getting that simple and nice. So I'll get into the media, moving the different types of media on the next video 3, and talk about the management of playlists to whatever extent we can. Thanks.